Hello darlings and welcome back to my channel. My name is Ronnie and I'm here with another speed build. This is going to be a big one as today's build is a row of traditional townhouses. So I would like to preface this video by saying that this footage will be divided into two parts. So yeah, I had to do this because simply it took me many hours to build this, more than 10 hours I'm sure. I think it was about maybe 13 or 14 hours to build this. I'm a slow builder, but it's also quite a big house, or like quite a big build. So yeah, I thought it would be better if I divide this and if we create two parts, and I think you will enjoy it more as well, because I think it would take about 45 to 50 minutes for the whole speed build. So yeah, I think doing it this way is probably better both for you and for me. So like I said, this is, well, it's not yet, but it is going to be a row of townhouses. So in this part, I'll show you the whole exterior, except for the landscaping. So it will just be the exterior of the buildings and the first house, the interior of the first house that I'm currently working on. So this first house is going to be a pub, and it's gonna have an apartment on the second floor for the owner of the pub. At least that was like the idea in my head when I was building it. Sorry, I kind of lost my voice there, so there was a sudden silence. I'm sorry for that. I just had to cough a bit, but I'm all good right now. What a great start. So as you can see, the kind of the vibes and the style of this house is coming together, and I really went for the classic London-like traditional pub house with many flower boxes and flowers and plants everywhere. This was, I think, the other builds or the other houses, I really didn't have anything concrete in my mind, but for the pub I just knew what I wanted to do, and I think it looks genuinely amazing. The flowers everywhere and the flower boxes, and I genuinely like the way I decided to kind of how should I say that? How should I phrase it? You know, I just didn't go for one color in the flower boxes, and I keep switching between red and purple flowers. And I think that's right now you can see just one floor, but I'm going to add another soon. And it creates a very nice zigzag pattern, and I think it looks very pretty. But right now I'm working on some outdoor seating because can you imagine going for a pint of beer here? Oh, it would be so amazing. I think it's it genuinely looks so nice. So yeah, as you can see, I right away jumped into the interior because, like I said, this was something that I had in my mind, and the image was very concrete and almost touchable, if that makes sense. So I had to build this first, and then I started figuring out the rest of the build. So this was a great opportunity to use some of the items that came with Discover University. So this is very much heavy on this pack. And I absolutely love what I did here with the bottles. So the shelves with bottles, that's a base game item, and it's usually I think it's lit from behind, so it emits light, and I really wanted this pub to be dark and, you know, like a proper pub, I think. So I genuinely wanted to like achieve this this particular style. So I think it was really like a cool idea to use also base game mirrors to hide that part, so you can see just the bottles and nothing else, and I think it looks really, really good. So now I'm working, well, I'm jumping from the first to the second floor. I also use this ping pong table because I thought that, you know what, it would make sense. I love pubs if they have some like entertainment included. So there's a lot of seating areas. There are also a few couches here and there. So yeah, I'm just adding them right now, and yeah, I'm genuinely in love with this style. I am using lots of pictures, and soon we'll be moving on to the ground floor again. And well, I'm not sure why I want to talk about it right now when we're not there yet, but I love the way how like everything is dark, and then there are those beautiful pictures, and it looks really nice, I think. I really like didn't want to over clutter this because like to me it really didn't like make any sense to do that. I think like in pubs like this you need some space for the people, so I really tried not to over clutter anything and go with more like simple style, and yeah, I think it looks quite nice. Now that I'm looking at it, I'm really using a lot of Discover University items, but of course it makes sense because this build is very like London-Insp, so it was logical to use all of these items, and of course they look amazing, so of course I had to. But I think I'm moving... no? I'm patiently waiting for that part that I wanted to talk about. But right now I'm using the Laundry Day stuff, what's it called? Rugs. Gosh, rugs. Because I think they add like some nice details without overcluttering some space. Now I'm working on that part that I was talking about earlier, so I'm using a lot of pictures, also some diplomas, and I'm just trying to cover this whole wall, and I think it looks amazing. It really adds some personality to this build, and I'm also using a lot of gosh, my memory today is really I have a memory of a goldfish. What was I going to say? I don't know. I've completely lost the track of my thoughts. Anyway, if I remember, I'll return to it. But as you can see right now, we're back working on the exterior. I'm adding the second floor, so that's going to be the apartment. But first, if I'm not mistaken, I'll be working on the remaining buildings. So there are two more buildings. The one in the middle, that's going to be a dormitory slash a hall of residence, depends on which like English variety you prefer. So that's going to be housed with 2 bedrooms that can accommodate I think four students. So that's my, I wanted to say that's my favorite build, but I like all the builds in this, all the houses in this build, so yeah, I can't really pick. And the building that I'm working on right now, that's going to be a public library. This is not really the color scheme that I will go for. I really wanted to go for this very fancy wallpaper at first, and I think I'll be using it on one floor, but then I'll keep it more simple and more traditional, and yeah, I'm changing it right now, and I think it will look a bit better. For the longest time I couldn't really figure out the roofing on all of these buildings. So I'm not even sure whether I've included the whole process because it was taking me bloody forever, but yeah, I think the end result is quite good. You should have seen the process. A lot of footage is deleted because of that. But right now I'm working on the dormitory / hall of residence. I'm not really sure which variety you would prefer, so I'll probably be calling it both. So yeah, I'm trying to place some fancy windows everywhere. I will also, I really like this bump out, the white bump out. I think it looks quite nice. And I'll be using soon the Blooming Rooms kit. Oh, that's what I was going to talk about before, right? I just wanted to mention that I'm using a lot of Blooming Rooms kit because the plants are gorgeous. And see this part where I decorated the windows? It's such a small detail, but I think it really adds to the whole build. And let's be honest, these buildings, I was really going all out with decoration and with flower boxes. I just genuinely wanted to make it look busy and colorful, and maybe it's not that realistic, but I genuinely love it. So yeah, here I'm also adding more flower boxes. I'm pretty sure that the ones that I'm currently changing, the ones that are on the library, I'll be adding those kind of balconies around it. So we're really going for different style for each house, and I quite like this. I think at first, I'm not sure whether I'm changing it right now because I can't really see it. Yeah, I used the blue flowers, but then it seemed that everything was too blue, so I just swapped the swatches and went with the white ones, and I think they look quite nice. I would like to point out that I had quite a few issues with the exterior trims. So right now, oh, I love this part with the bikes. It looks so pretty and so London, or not just London, but British University. I genuinely enjoy it. Yeah, so what I want to talk about. So the exterior trims, I'm not really sure whether that's a bug in the game or whether that's some issue on my end, or whether I'm just doing something wrong, but the exterior trims were an absolute nightmare for me. I had to change a few things because of that. So for instance, you can't see it right now, but for the dormitory part, you could see that the entrance was kind of hidden underneath the bump out, the white bump out, and there's the blue trim around that part. But for some reason, it kept either deleting itself, or when I placed it there, it showed on the interior as well, and I couldn't really do anything about it. And so then the bump out will actually be on the ground floor as well, because it was a nightmare. I just genuinely couldn't do anything about it. And literally every building here had some issues with the exterior trim. So the library, I used the big exterior trim from Discover University, but again, for some reason, it kept disappearing. I couldn't do anything about it. I don't know what was happening. The columns were not working the way they were supposed to. Everything looked different than I wanted it, and I just couldn't figure it out. What was wrong? Right now, I still don't know what was wrong. So I had to change it for a base game exterior trim, which I didn't like as much, but yeah, if it doesn't work, what can you do, right? And then the pop one, the one around the like big flower. It's not even like a flower box, but the flower part that's kind of like hangs above the entrance. So that exterior trim for some reason keeps changing colors. It's the classic base game one, but for that like oval part, it kept turning brown. So eventually I changed the whole part to be brown, but sometimes when I like zoomed out, it looked black again. I'm genuinely unsure whether that's a bug or whether that's just my game having some issues. I like genuinely don't know, and it's so frustrating because like, you know, when you build and when you're happy about the way you build, like about the result, and like these small parts are not working, so you know it's just like not like 100% perfect. Oh my god, I can't pronounce today. So I just it's just mind-boggling and so frustrating. So yeah, if you see, because of course at the end of this video there will be screenshots of those parts that we already like worked on in this part, so you will see a few minor changes like these, and so I just thought that I would point that out because yeah, honestly, first I just want to complain because it was so infuriating, but second I just thought that I would explain it here because in this part we're working on the exterior, so if some things are different from what you have just seen, I just thought that I would explain it so that you know, oh, she had to change a few things. But gosh, I just talked over almost the whole apartment that is like located above the pub. So it's quite simple. At first I think I wanted to go for like more traditional style, but I think it was like too traditional because like the pub is very like old and not at all modern. So then I thought that maybe it would make more sense to have this apartment slightly more like contemporary. However, I still like went with a similar color scheme, so everything is very brown and green, but I genuinely like it. I think I didn't I meant to say I didn't have time, but I really didn't have the opportunity to use these green items from what's it called? Dream Home Decorator. That's the name of the pack. Yeah. So it was fun to use it. Also, another like heads up, this part that I'm currently working on, so it's like this little shelving unit with some clothes hanging from it, and every time I load into my game, this part disappears. And I am pretty sure that it's probably not going to be on the gallery either, because like every time I do something with the build, it just deletes itself. And I heard some people complaining about this part like of Dream Home Decorator, that actually this like modular furniture has these issues. And again, it's quite frustrating because when I was building this whole build, I was probably remaking it maybe like, I don't know, 4 or 5 times, because every time I opened my game, it just wasn't there. So if you would like to download this build, and if you would like to play with this build, maybe just with one building, that's completely fine. Feel free to delete anything that you don't want in your own game. But if that part is missing, I just again thought that I would emphasize the issues that I had with it, because yeah, it kept deleting itself, and once again, quite frustrating. But still, I had so much fun with this build. Speaking of downloading it, I just think that I should say that it's actually quite expensive. Of course, it's like 3 houses. Also, there's going to be a park with a community garden, but that's going to be in the second part. So yeah, it's quite expensive. It comes in at 424,327 simoleons. So it's quite expensive, but I don't think it's that big of an issue. So we're slowly coming to the end. So I just would like to point out that next Thursday there'll be the part 2 up on my YouTube channel. So if you enjoyed this one, definitely feel free to tune in next Thursday. Yeah, next Thursday at 5 p.m. Central European Time, because that's when I'll be posting it, I hope, but I should. And yeah, I genuinely hope you enjoyed this part as well. As I already said, there will be a few screenshots, but not of the whole thing. You need to wait for the part 2. So this build will be available on the Sims 4 gallery, so if you want a little preview of other things, you can already go and download it. You can also find me on Twitter and Instagram. The handle is same across all platforms. And if you enjoyed this video, feel free to give it a like, write a comment, subscribe, ding the bell. Everything you're supposed to do with YouTube videos. Thank you so much for watching. Have the most wonderful day and enjoy the screenshots. Goodbye!